Good afternoon from Nairobi, Kenya's capital. It's 1 p.m. and you are tuned in to The Ambassador. I am your ambassador, Paul Madenge. This is the space where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. Now, to our very first story. With just months to Uganda's general elections, political campaigns have kicked off across the country, drawing huge crowds and sparking debates among citizens. From Kampala to Gulu, Ugandans are weighing in on the promises and performances of their leaders. Our reporter Davis Karani has the details.
From the bustling streets of Kampala to the rural heartlands of Lira and Barara, campaign fever is gripping Uganda once again. Political parties have rolled out rallies, posters and social media campaigns, each candidate seeking to win the hearts and votes of millions of Ugandans. For many young voters, this election represents a chance to redefine Uganda's political landscape, a contest that pits the ruling National Resistance Movement against an energized opposition bloc.
I would like President Museveni to win elections. Museveni, due one of the reasons schools are now up to date, hospitals, we have medication, so I support Museveni.
I would like Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu to win these elections of 2026 because he's a promising president of Uganda, he's young, and what I think will improve on services of Uganda, like he will build hospitals, schools, construct roads, because for now, right now in Uganda have no roads.
For me, I'm like, I want anybody, so long as he can do for me what I want, like hospitals, schools, then even business. We don't have a job. Children are studying, there is no job.
Meanwhile, others say continuity and stability remain their top concern.
Museveni votes once, and nobody can fake his vote. Determined by the electronic, local recording, and then transmission to the central command. I have now got all the evidence that in the last election, Noob cheated by 1 million votes.
As campaigns continue, Ugandans say they hope this election season will be peaceful and transparent, giving citizens a true voice at the ballot. Davis Karani for GBS News, Kampala, Uganda.
Now moving on, the presidential election in Cameroon continues to fuel tensions as provincial results released 8 days after the vote declared incumbent President Paul Biya the winner with just over 53% of the vote. His main challenger, Issa Chiroma Bakari, has firmly rejected these figures, insisting he actually secured around 60% of the vote and accusing authorities of electoral fraud. Since the election, Chiroma has been calling the greater transparency and has been releasing his own vote tallies, which contradict the official numbers. This dispute has sparked protests across the Cameroon's major cities, some of which have escalated into clashes between demonstrators and security forces, raising concerns about growing unrest in the country. All eyes are now on the Constitutional Council, which is expected to announce the final official results by October 26th. Should their provincial results be confirmed, President Biya, who is 92 years old, would extend his role to over 4 decades, making him one of the longest-serving leaders in Africa. Now moving on, a planned summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin was put on hold on Tuesday as Moscow's rejection of an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine cast a cloud of attempt at negotiations. Here are the details.
Officials said there is no plans for President Trump to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in the immediate future. During the meeting with Ukrainian President, Trump was asked about a meeting with Putin in Hungary and a timeline or a date set for when that will be. US President Donald Trump says he is confident that his upcoming meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Hungary could mark a turning point in efforts to end the war in Ukraine.
You spoke about a meeting in Hungary with him. Do you have a timeline or a date set for when?
Yeah, I would say within 2 weeks or so. Pretty quick.
Trump, who announced the planned meeting last week, is expected to push for a negotiated settlement following his talks with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday, a meeting after which he publicly endorsed Kyiv's call for an immediate ceasefire along current battle lines. Speaking to reporters, President Trump was asked whether he believes he can personally convince Vladimir Putin to halt the fighting in Ukraine, a conflict now in its third year and showing few signs of slowing.
President Trump, sir, do you believe you can convince Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine?
Moscow has long demanded the Kyiv agree to cede more territory before any ceasefire. Trump's meeting with Zelensky behind closed doors was, and I quote, contentious. The US president repeatedly used profanity and pushed Zelensky to accept some Russian demands. But Zelensky has painted the meeting as a success because it ended with Trump publicly backing a ceasefire at the present lines.
We had a very good meeting, very cordial meeting. In my opinion, they should stop the war immediately. You go by the battle line wherever it is, otherwise it's too complicated. You'll never be able to figure it out.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Tuesday said pausing fighting on the current front line would mean, and I quote, forgetting about the root causes of the conflict. He said Russia had not changed its position since Trump and Putin met in Alaska in August, a meeting that failed to advance negotiations.
One of the problems of birthdays, they awaken your consciousness of your oldness. The issue of being man enough is being awakened to your immortality, so that your immortal being becomes the discussion factor that now informs the mortality. You know what to do.
Today we are talking about boy child, and we are asking a question: are you a man enough?
Yeah.
Say, I do.
So for men to be men enough, they need to have somebody who speaks in several dimensions, speaks over them. He who walks with the wise becomes wise. So there is the issue of impartation. Speaks into them, speaks to awake them to the heroes that they are, the champions that they are. Mm-hmm. As iron sharpens iron, so another man sharpens another. So there is a deliberate awakening of the mature men.
We're going to be discussing dream chasing versus stability. Dream chasing versus stability.
Okay, dream chasing nayo ni ngumu. Juu unaweza kuwa una chase impossible dreams. But yet unaweza kuwa una chase possible dreams. So wewe tu ngangana na dream yako, one time utafika hapo.
Kifika certain stage in life, make decisions peke yako, ndio ukiregret usikuwa na mtu wa kublame. Just go for it. Ndio kikikuuma ni wewe imeuma.
Kuramba.
Na ikiwork out pia all the best, because si kila time utafail na si kila time utasucceed, but hauwezi jua kama hujajaribu.
Mimi nitakuja hapa nikudanganye, soft life. Wewe hujui hiyo soft life inatoka wapi? You guys just want to fly badala you take the stairs step by step. Obviously mtu wako pale juu alianzia somewhere. You can't tell me ati kama kuna alternative utafanya, si basi wewe fanya if that's what you want. Would you rather earn less doing what you love ama earn more doing what you hate?
Mi hata sita kudanganya si ati napenda kukufia nchi yangu just because of the money that is there. Si ati anapenda kukua KDF, but it's because of the money that is there.
Okay, men are not smart like women.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that
That's
for a
true.
fact.
If
Right now,
that is
true. If me and Rachel say to pay 1 million, tupe mwaka moja, hiyo million itakuwa hata maybe 10. But if a man unashikangwa tu na kiburi sasa ndio unavaa
Happy Friday, beautiful people. Welcome to the Blast Show. I will host the most. I think Regina.
Leo nakwambia hapa live on the Blast inakuaga ni show ya kukubamba. Tunakuletea what has been going on the week na zile mambo zinaendelea, na tunakupea vibe ya kuingia weekend.
Vitegeo, mbona kinya umechange jila. Washafen hata kama wote na wachoma ila. Remember me kwenye rap bands ni paka kufa. With the best man, wakichonga wachonge na ziba nyufa. Acha nife kwenye love tu, maana wewe dawa njoo unipe tu. Nikichoka hasu unaninyosha nyosha unanipanga panga kwenye bedi tu.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to The Ambassador, and we apologize for the technical issues that have occurred. Now let's go back to our previous story. Tensions are once again flaring in the occupied West Bank. Reports indicate that Israeli settlers have launched attacks on Palestinian farmers and international activists, escalating violence in the region during the annual olive harvest season. Dozens of Israeli settlers reportedly stormed farmlands near the village of Burin, south of Nablus, attacking Palestinian farmers and activists who were assisting with the olive harvest. Witnesses say settlers threw stones, set fire to trees, and vandalized vehicles belonging to local residents. Let's take a look.
We had more than 150 assaults since the beginning of the season. And we are talking about the first week of the olive picking season. More than 40 thefts of olive fruits and picking tools have occurred throughout the West Bank. More than 700 olive trees have been uprooted, broken and poisoned. And I am speaking since the beginning of the season. All concentrated in the Hebron, Ramallah, Jenin and Jordan Valley areas.
The Ministry of Agriculture has recorded financial losses exceeding $70 million from the beginning of the year until mid-October, with more than 5,353 farmers directly affected. This marks an increase of 70% compared to last year, including the burning and uprooting of trees, destruction of agricultural infrastructure, and the killing and theft of livestock, in addition to the confiscation and prevention of farmers.
Now moving on, in an unexpected turn of events, 64-year-old conservative Sanae Takaichi has won a historic vote to become Japan's first female prime minister. Takaichi, who belongs to LDP's hardline wings and is a protege of the late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, beat all odds in her third attempt at becoming Japan's leader. Howbeit, she is the fourth prime minister in 5 years since 2020. Will she deliver in Japan's struggling economy? Madi Perez reports.
It is a significant moment for Japan. For the first time, 64-year-old Sanae Takaichi, a woman, has been elected, securing 237 votes, beating Shinjiro Koizumi in the lower house to the country's top seat. This is a surprise since figures show Japan ranks number 118 out of the possible 146 countries on matters global gender gap. This is barely a day after her struggling party struck a collision deal with a new partner expected to pull her governing bloc further to the right. Takaichi replaces Shigeru Ishiba, who lasted only 1 year as prime minister, resigned with his cabinet earlier in the day, paving the way for his successor and finally ending a 3-month political vacuum and wrangles since the Liberal Democratic Party's disastrous election loss in July this year. Sanae Takaichi, who is a long-time advocate of Abenomics, the policies of the late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, which include higher government spending and tax breaks to cushion the rising cost of living, has in the past criticized the Bank of Japan's decision to raise interest rates. Acclaimed as a highly respected person and of great wisdom by Trump, she faces an uphill task fixing a wavy economy, navigating a rocky US-Japan relationship, and uniting a divided ruling party in a country boasting a population of about 123 people and has had 4 prime ministers since 2020. The prime minister is expected to host US Donald Trump 3-day visit at the end of October. Matthew Perez for JBS News.
Now moving on, in a groundbreaking move, 4 nations, the United States, Mexico, Costa Rica, and Jamaica, have joined forces to bid for the 2031 FIFA Women's World Cup. If chosen, it will be the largest Women's World Cup ever held, and a powerful statement about the future of the game across America, as Elvis Muyudi reports.
In a bold step for global football, the United States, Mexico, Costa Rica and Jamaica have announced a historic joint bid to host the 2031 FIFA Women's World Cup.
Estamos muy contentos, orgullosos.
We are very happy and proud that the region of CONCACAF is calling up 4 countries to host the most important World Cup in the history of women's football, with almost 50 nations. For this, we're going to work so that we can deliver the best World Cup.
With the tournament expanding to 48 teams and 104 matches, this united CONCACAF bid promises to deliver the biggest and most inclusive Women's World Cup ever.
When we are officially selected, we'll work with FIFA to deliver the biggest, most impactful women's sporting event in history.
U.S. Soccer President Cindy Palo says this is more than just a bid. It's a chance to transform the game across the region.
People everywhere are waking up to what soccer can be, not just here in the U.S., but across CONCACAF and around the world. Now, as the only bidders for the FIFA 2031 Women's World Cup, I admit I like our chances.
And for legends like Abio Ambach, the inclusion of Costa Rica and Jamaica is an exciting opportunity to reach new communities and inspire the next generation.
And I'm so, I'm like Kelly, I was surprised to hear that Jamaica and Costa Rica got in. But my gosh, I'm so excited because I get to go to these places and be in community with the kids there and hopefully get to inspire me, not me, but the players on the team will get to inspire the next generation.
Together, these 4 nations are pledging for more than world-class stadiums. They are building a lasting legacy for women's football from grassroots level to the global stage. As the world looks ahead to FIFA's decision in 2026, one thing is clear: the future of the game is here, and it's rising from across the Americans. Elvis Muyodi, GBS News.
Now moving on with international sports. Yesterday, Arsenal delivered a thundering 4-0 victory over Atletico Madrid at the Emirates Stadium. This win extended their unbeaten run to the 9 matches across the competition. Arsenal unleashed their full power last night, dominating every aspect of the game. Gabriel Magalhaes headed in the opener from a pinpoint free kick. Martinelli made it 2 with a dazzling solo finish before Victor Gyökeres bagged a race to seal a ruthless 4-0 win. That's 11 straight Champions League clean sheet at the Emirates. This milestone victory marked Arsenal's 100 in the competition. Atletico had no answers. The Gunners are looking like true European contenders. Here are the details. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of The Ambassador. I have been your ambassador, Paul Mathenge, and it's been great having you with me here on GBS TV Africa. Stay tuned for updates throughout the day, and be sure to join me every day at The Ambassador GBS TV Africa as we continue to debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. Thank you for your time and company. Until then, goodbye.